Sportsbit, Wednesday, February 28th, 2018. Welcome to the show, and note the date. It's the last day of February. What does that mean? That means that March starts tomorrow. If you're a college basketball fan and you're not excited about the fact the calendar is turning to March, give yourself a pinch because it's time to wake up. It's the last frickin' day of February. Wild night to recap from last night as we open the show. Of course, we do have three big game breakdowns coming up next, two in the association, one in the college ranks. But we like to go through bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books to open the show. What do we call it? Nuggets against the Clippers last night. Denver bet -3, -3.5 at the open. There were -6s at the close. Tons of Nuggets money. Denver rolls to a 19-point lead in the third quarter. Doc Rivers waits the white flag. All right, put the starters down. We have back-to-back tomorrow. Waves the white flag, brings the reserves in. And lo and behold, one of the great bench performances of all time. Nuggets 19-point lead? Nope, not so much. Clippers rally, not just for the cover, but for the straight-up win with their bench on the floor for the entire fourth quarter after Doc Rivers had said, yeah, well, we'll worry about tomorrow's game. That's a bad beat. And, of course, if you laid a price with the Nuggets as that line got steamed up, you're laying 4.5, 5, certainly bad bets on Denver. That game goes into both categories. We'll talk more about what happened with the Clippers' wild comeback last night when we get to big game breakdown a little bit later in the show. Bad beat. Oh, this is brutal. The worst ones are the ones that go into double overtime. Well, this one went to triple overtime. Davidson +2.5 against St. Bonnie's. They lose by 4. Davidson covered the end of regulation. They covered the end of the first overtime. They covered at the end of the second frickin' overtime. Not the third. That's tough. That's really tough. Oh, bad bets. There were a ton of bad bets last night. Talk about teams, not showing up in various ways. There were a bunch of those, Rhode Island getting run out of the gym, Mississippi State getting slapped around by Tennessee, North Carolina looking ahead to Duke in the game against Miami, Oklahoma no-show, Auburn. Well, that's what we're going to talk about, of course, DePaul as well, in a no-contact game. But Auburn took the money at Arkansas, +2 at the open. They were pick 'em, even -1 at the close. Well, Tigers' short rotation is showing signs of wearing down late in the regular season. The Razorbacks were the right side wire-to-wire winner. Bad bet on the Auburn Tigers. Bad for books. Ooh, this one wasn't good. And this is a wild ending. Okay, Heat +1, bet up to -1, and they win by exactly 1 against Philly. But a bizarre ending to this game. Dwayne Wade, tie game, closing seconds. Dwayne Wade fouls Ben Simmons intentionally. Simmons not a good free throw shooter. He made 1 of 2 free throws. Then Wade hit a jumper to win it. Wade, 27 points in 25 minutes. His quote, I wanted to foul. They kept running pick and roll, and it was killing us. And I was just playing the numbers. I wanted the young fella to see in this environment what he's going to do. Dwayne Wade hit the big shot. That was not a good result for the house. All the money came on Miami, landed right on the closing number. Yeah, not a pretty one for bookmakers. Another one that wasn't pretty for the bookies last night, and this is one of these gifts that keeps on giving. The Cavs as double-digit chalk. Well, now they're 0-16 against the spread. Their last 16 tries laying doubles. Brooklyn +11.5 to +10 against Cleveland. The Nets led late in the fourth quarter of this ball game, only lost by 6. The faces have changed in Cleveland. The results as big chalk have not. 0-16 in this roll. Their last 16 tries. That's something worth noting the next time you see the Cavs as double-digit favorites. What about Florida against Alabama last night? Boy, this wasn't a good result for the house. Nothing but Gators money. Heavy Gators money. Bookmakers got smacked on this one. Florida +2.5. They closed -1. They won the game 73-52. It wasn't that close. Avery Johnson, a little bit cryptic about the Alabama slump before the game. This is one of those quotes. You see it, you read it, and you say, I'm not betting on Alabama until I figure out what this quote means for real. There are clearly problems, maybe behind the scenes for the Crimson Tide. Avery Johnson, quote, we're the 4th youngest team in the country. With that, there are a lot of growing pains. There are things that happen with our team that come out of nowhere that you have to navigate around. There is no rest for the weary. Of course, Alabama missed 19 consecutive shots in one stretch of first half action last night. And one that we got wrong right here on Sportsbit yesterday. Unfortunately, we had information said Malik Pope, he's out. San Diego State's in trouble. And then what happens? Malik Pope, he's in. San Diego State, not in trouble. Aztecs bet from -3 up to -5. Some places even higher against Boise. After the Pope suspension was announced as he's going to play, they won by 8. Bettors laid it all day with San Diego State. Bettors cashed in. That's a particularly bad way for the night to end for sportsbooks, both here in Las Vegas and offshore. Big game breakdown coming up next. What do we got? A pair of NBA on ESPN for tonight? You betcha. Plus college hoops. Stay tuned right here on Sportsbet. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the games.